In this video, we will be talking about how to set the workpiece offsets on the Mach3Mill software. The way we're going to find the workpiece offsets is by using the edge finding tool, which is basically a tool that has a shaft with a very loose end on the bottom. We're going to go ahead and insert that into the spindle motor and have it going at a certain RPM. And then we're going to slowly bring it towards the edge of the block. The reason why we want to go slowly is because inside there's a spring. If we damage the spring, then the tool will be harder to use. As the tool gets closer and makes contact with the block, the little small piece on the bottom is going to go ahead and shift to the side, indicating that this is where our 0 point will be for the axis. We'll be doing this for both the X and Y. As for finding the offset for our Z, we'll be using our reference tool and just touching the top of the block and saying that this is our 0. Before we want to find the workpiece offsets, we first want to determine the tool offsets for our operation, which we've discussed how to do in a previous video. After that, then we want to go to our offsets tab, and then we want to find the diameter of the piece that will be moving on our edge finding tool, and then we want to enter that value in this box here. Once you have it, just go ahead and click it and enter the diameter of the edge finder. For our purpose, we'll say it's 0.32 inches. After that, you can go back to the Program Run tab. Go ahead and insert the edge finding tool into the spindle. Then go ahead and hit the tilde button to deactivate the reset. Then over in your spindle tab, go ahead and enter a value between 700 and 1000 RPM. Because in order for this tool to work, the spindle needs to be rotating so that the piece can actually shift when it makes contact. Once you're ready, go ahead and activate your spindle. Go back to your offsets, and then use the arrow keys to go ahead and move your axis to find your workpiece. For example, if we were trying to find the X and Y, we'll go ahead and move the axis to find our X first. And we would say that this would be our X coordinates right here, where we touch the block. We will know when the edge finding tool shifts to the side. Please have your partner be watching it as well so we can avoid any unforeseen damage. If you're working by yourself, please keep an extra eye on it. But once the tool finder has found the edge, go ahead and select this select button here. Once you do that, you will notice that the value here has changed and become the radius of what we entered for our edge finding diameter. This is because Mach3 knows that when we're using the edge finding tool, it's not exactly 0, so it's taking that diameter and making adjustments based on the data that's been given. After that, we can go ahead and find the Y. And we will say that this Y value here is where our edge finding tool has contacted with the block. We will then go ahead and click select again. And once again, it also made the adjustments with the values that we have given it. After that, go ahead and click reference all home. Once you do that, you might notice that the values in this box are going to be different than in here. That is supposed to be different, and you don't need to worry about that. Once the machine has been homed, go ahead and go back to the Program Run tab and turn off the spindle motor, and then go ahead and swap it out with your reference tool. In this case, our reference tool will be tool 1, which will be the 9/16. Once you have that placed in, you want to highlight in tool information the box with the tool number. Click on that and type in tool 1 and then hit enter. Leaving the spindle motor off, you go ahead and move the spindle motor above the block. Once the tool is above the block, go ahead and grab a sheet of paper and place it on top of the block and be shifting it back and forth. Once the tool makes contact with the paper and the paper is no longer moving, that is your 0 point. Before we actually find the 0 point, go ahead and measure how thick the paper is, and then taking that measurement, we can go ahead and put it in this box here. For our purpose, we'll say that it is 0.0002 5 inches. Once that's done, go ahead and use your hotkeys to lower the z-axis down very slowly. And we will say this is where the tool makes contact with the block. Knowing that, go ahead and click Set Z. And you will notice that it took in account of the thickness of the paper that we're using and made the adjustments as necessary. After that, go ahead and click Reference All Home and make sure that the Z value is the opposite value in this block. And with that, your machine is ready to run your operation. You then can go back to Program Run, load your G code, and run your operation. Thank you for watching.